We discussed the intents concept we discussed in our last class. So basically, there are two types of intents: implicit intents and explicit intents. Okay. So once again, so basically, we are discussing this example. We are discussing intents. So intents is used to provide a communication between activity to activity, activity to service, and activity to broadcast receiver. So now we are discussing intents concept with respect to activity only because still we have not started the services part and broadcast receiver. So with respect to activity, there are two types of intents: implicit and explicit. And this is one sample example for developing demonstrating the intents concept. We already created the first screen. We already created. We already created three buttons: dial, next, and WhatsApp. And we already written the logic for this dial button. So when you click the dial button, so call this built-in dial screen, right? So let me open that project. So what is our project name? Intents test, right? So intents test is our project name. Open the intents test. So in activity XML file, now the activity XML file, we created a button we created called dial button. We created three buttons we created: dial and next and WhatsApp. So dial, next, and WhatsApp. We created three buttons we created in the XML file, and even we configured the click event also. We configured on click is equals to dial, on click is equals to next, and on click is equals to what? WhatsApp. So these three methods we had to create in the activity class. We had to create these three methods. So we created all of these three methods. We already created in the activity class. We already created these three methods: dial, next, and WhatsApp. Okay. So whenever user clicks the dial button, whenever user clicks the dial button, we are calling this built-in dial screen. We are calling the built-in dial screen. We are calling when user clicks the dial button. When user clicks the dial button, we are calling what? The built-in dial screen. We are calling when user clicks the dial button. Okay. So this is a syntax. Create an object for intent. I dot set action intent dot action underscore dial and start activity of intent. Okay. So now here my requirement is here I want to add one text box. I want to add. See now once if you click this dial button, let's run the output. We'll see the output once. So we'll see the output once. You select this run application. It is installing the app. So some time for preview. It's taking some time. Actually, what we did is when you click the dial button, it is calling the built-in dial screen. It is calling. It is calling what the built-in dial screen. It is calling. But my requirement is here. I want to send some data. I want to send some data. I want to send the dial screen. Meaning on top of this dial button, I want to create a text box. I want to create. I want to create what? One text box I want to create on top of this dial button. So user is going to enter a number here. On top of this dial button, user is going to enter what? The number user is going to enter in this. So here user is going to enter some text, user is going to enter in this text box. My requirement is if user is entered any number here, if user is entered any number and when user clicks the dial button, my requirement is I want to call this built-in dial screen I want to call. Okay, after user is giving any number and when user clicks the dial button, I want to open the built-in dial screen I want to open. I want to open the built-in dial screen I want to open with that particular number. Whatever the user is given, whatever the user is given a number here in the first text here in the first screen in this text box, automatically it has to open that dial screen with that particular number. It has to open automatically. Okay, so here for this we use a method called set data method use. So if you want to send any data, if you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, so repeat once again. If you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, we use a method called what? Set data method we used. Intent object dot. There is a method called what? Set data is a method. Meaning if you want to send the if you want to send any data, if you want to send to built-in activities, if you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, we use a method called what? Set data is a method. See, what is the input parameter for this set data method? Input parameter for this set data method is nothing but it's a URI object. But before that, first what we'll do, on top of this dial button, we'll create a text box. We'll create here. Here, our requirement is what we want to create a text box. We want to create, and when user clicks the dial button, get the number here, get the number from this text box, and call the dial screen. Okay, with that particular number. This is a requirement. So in our XML file, on top of this dial button, we'll add one edit text component. We'll add what? One edit text component. We'll add. I specified width is match parent, occupy the entire screen, and height I specified as wrap content I specified. Width is match parent and height is wrap content I specified. Width is match parent and height is what? Wrap content. And we require an ID for this component. Let's configure the ID. We require an ID for this component. Let's configure the ID. ET1 is the ID I configured. ET1 is the ID I configured. Now select this design. If you select this design, it will show you how it will display on the screen. Okay. So we created an edit text component we created. On top of this dial button, we created what? One edit text component we created on top of the dial button. Okay. So now here we configured the ID also we configured. What is the ID? ET1 is the ID. So when user clicks the dial button, first get the data from the edit text component because we want to send the data we want to send to that built-in activity we want to send. So edit text is equals to ET1 is equals to find UI ID r dot ID dot ID of the particular UI component. Okay. Now here the input parameter for this set data method, the input parameter for this set data method is nothing but URI object is the input parameter. What is the input parameter? URI object is the input parameter. So here specify the URI object URI dot. There is a method called parse is a method. What is the method name? Parse is a method. URI object dot parse is a method. So is it audible for others? So one second, let me bring my headset. Yeah. So requirement is what? Actually, we already call the dial screen. We already seen. We already seen the dial screen. How to call the dial screen. But my requirement is when user clicks a dial button. When user clicks a dial button, my requirement is I want to call the dial screen. I want to call along with some number. That number will take from the input from the user here. User is going to enter the number, and when user clicks the dial button, open this built-in dial screen with that particular number, whatever the user is entered in this text box. That's why we created one edit text component we created here. We created one edit text component we created. In this dial method, first get the edit text component. Edit text is equals to edit text of find UV by ID. Okay. Next. So that you'll get the edit text component will get and intent object dot set data is a method. In this set data method, you have to specify URI dot there is a method called parse is a method. What is the method name? Parse is a method. URI object dot parse is a method. In this parse method, so we had to specify the value you had to specify from where you are getting the value. We are getting the value from edit text one component we are getting et1 dot there is a method called get text. So if you want to get the URI object, if you want to get directly, you cannot create the object for URI. So you have to specify URI dot what is the method name? Parse is a method. So if you call this parse method, we'll get the object for URI class. You'll get the object. Okay, and we are getting the number we are getting from edit text one component. We are getting the number. We are getting that number we are getting from edit text one component. We are getting so et1 dot get text dot toString. Okay, but before this, in this parse method, we had to specify what type of what type of data you are sending. You have to specify here. So let's add the type here. I'm specifying the type as tel colon plus, meaning we are sending the number we are sending. We are sending the number we are sending. Okay, fine. You have to specify what type of value you are sending. We are sending it's a telephony type of data. See, number is different, telephony type is different. Number means you'll get along from 0 to 10 is nothing but telephony. Sorry, 0 to 10 is nothing but number. But telephony means it's 0 to 9 and even it will accept the hash and star also it will accept. Okay. So let's run the application. Why we add this statement? Set data method. If you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, if you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, then we use this set data method we use. Let's run the program. You'll understand once if you see the output. There is some issue with this. I'll show you through my screen. I'll show. There is some problem with this Android software for getting my phone preview. I hope you can see this. You can see my screen, right? Okay. So app is installed in my phone. App is installed. Dial, next, and WhatsApp. Okay. Basically, the screen preview software is not working. That's why. Okay. We got the output we got here. So enter the number, dial, next, and WhatsApp. Okay. First, I'll enter some number. I'll enter first. I entered a number. I entered here. I entered a number I entered here. I entered what? Some number I entered. And whenever you click this dial button, whenever you click the dial button, it will open the built-in dial screen. It is asking select application. You want to phone or Truecaller. For example, I'm selecting Truecaller application. I'm selecting just once. So it is directly it is open the dial pad. It is open with that particular number. Directly it is open what? The dial pad. It is open with that particular number. Dial pad is open. Okay, so this is the set data method. If you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, if you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, so we use a method called what? Set data method we use for sending the data to the built-in activities. Okay, so understand. That is the first thing. If you want to send any data, if you want to send to the built-in activities, so we use this set data method we use. Okay, and next thing is we'll write the logic for next thing is we'll write the logic for this next button. We'll write the logic. Next thing is what? We'll write the logic for this next button. So when user clicks the next button, before going to discuss that next screen, we'll see one more example for this implicit intents on. We'll see one more example for implicit intents. I'm commenting this logic. I'm commenting this logic. I'm commenting. So we'll see one more example for demonstrating the implicit intents. So you know about gallery, right? Gallery is one of the built-in screen in Android. Gallery is one of the built-in screen in Android. Okay. So if you want to call that gallery screen, if you want to call that gallery screen, if you want to call, let's create the object for intent class. Intent I is equals to new intent. Intent I is equals to what? New intent. I dot set action is a method. In this set action method, we'll specify which class you want to call. We'll specify in this set action method. I dot set action intent dot action underscore get content. So we have to specify intent object dot set action intent dot action underscore get content. Meaning I want to get the list of files I want to get. Intent object dot set action intent dot action underscore get content. Meaning I want to get some files I want to get. I want to get some files I want to get. So here we have to specify what type of files you want to get. Intent.set action, intent.action underscore get content. And here you have to specify what type of files you want to get. Here we have to specify what type of files you want to get. Whether you want to get the image type of files or audio files or video files, what type of files you want to get, you have to specify here. I specified image slash star I specified, meaning I want to get all the images I want to get. I want to get what? All the images I want to get. So that's why I specified intent object dot set type image slash star. I want to get all the audio files I want, all the list of image files I want to get. Okay. So in the set type method, let's specify here what type of data you want to get. For example, you want to get audio files, specify audio slash star. If you want to get video files, video slash star, like that. Okay, this asterisk means to get all the files. Okay, and here let's use a method called start activity. Start activity of what? Intent object. Start activity of intent object. Basically, the purpose of using this set type method is used to get what type of data you want to get. Okay, so let's run the application. We'll see. So run the app. It is installing the app. Observe here, app is installed now. So when you click the dial button, we commented the dial screen logic we commented, and now return the logic for gallery, right? So once if you click this dial button, okay, it is asking which application, I mean, in which application you want to show the images, because these applications will support the images, this Dropbox, gallery, photos. So these applications will support what? Images. So basically, which application will select? We'll select the gallery application, will select for. So gallery application I selected. Okay, gallery application I selected. So I got the list of images I got in my phone. How many images are available? I got all the list of images I got. Okay, once you select this gallery, select this gallery. Okay, it is showing all the list of images. It is showing in your phone. How many images are there? It is showing all the list of image files. It is showing here. Okay, so if you want, you can take any particular image. You can take. Okay, this is the purpose of set type method. Okay, just for demonstrating the 6 methods whatever we discussed in the yesterday. This is what set type method. So which is used to call the built-in activity and to specify what type of data you want to get. So I specified set type image slash star I specified. Okay. Next. This is about calling the implicit intents. We've seen an example for calling the dial screen and the gallery screen. Next, what is the next one? Next. So we had to write the logic for this next button. We had to write the logic. When user clicks the next button, I want to call that next screen. I want to call. When user clicks the next button, I want to call this welcome to Durgasoft screen I want to call. But if you want to call this welcome to Durgasoft, when user clicks the next button, I want to call what? This welcome to Durgasoft screen I want to call. But if you want to call this welcome to Durgasoft screen, so here for this welcome to Durgasoft screen we require two files we require. For this welcome to Durgasoft screen, we require two files we require for this welcome to Durgasoft screen. One is a XML file. One is what? XML file, and second thing is a Java file. Okay, so for this second screen also what we had to create? We had to create two files. We had to create one XML and one Java. We had to create one XML and one Java. We had to create for this second screen. For this second screen also we had to create what? One XML and Java we had to create. So once this XML and Java is created, now we can write the logic for sending this. Now once this activity is created, this second activity, welcome to the Durgasoft activity, now you can write the logic when user clicks the next button, send the data to this, call this welcome to the Durgasoft activity. Okay. So first what we'll do is we'll create this activity we'll create an XML file for this user interface and we'll create a Java file for this user interface. Okay. So see here. So first that activity XML and Java file you have to create. Let's create XML file first. Select this layout folder, right click on this layout folder, right click on this layout, create a new XML file. Right click on this layout folder, create a new layout resource file, XML file. Specify the XML file name here. Specify the XML file name. What is your XML file name? I am specifying the XML file name as welcome is XML file name. I specify the XML file name as what? Welcome is the XML file name. Click on this OK button. Okay. So in this screen, let's open the XML code. Once you select this XML code, right click on that layout folder, select what? New layout resource file. So you'll get the XML file you'll get. So you get linear layout we created, the main UI group. In this linear layout, I want to display a text I want to display. For displaying a text, what we use? We use a UI component called text-to-be component. Width is match variant, and even height also I'm specifying as wrap content. And what is the text you want to display on the screen? What is the text you want to display on the screen? Let's define that text, specify the text. I want to display the text I want to display called welcome to Dirgasoft. Welcome to Dirgasoft. This is the text I want to display on the screen. So what is the text size? For example, I specify the text size as 30 sp is the text size I specified. If you want, you can define some text color. RGB color codes you have to apply. Like for example, it is a red color #FF. So this is called as RGB color codes. If you type in internet, if you type RGB color codes, you'll get the color codes you'll get. Okay, just use that color code in your application. Okay, this is a color code for red color. So now if you want to see how it will display on the screen, select this design tab once. If you select this design tab, it will show you how it will display on the screen. Welcome to Dirgasoft. Okay. So now this XML file is created. Meaning for the second screen, welcome to Dirgasoft screen, we created XML file we created. For this second screen, this welcome to Dirgasoft screen, we created what? We created an XML file we created for this second screen. Welcome to Dirgasoft screen. Now we had to create what? A Java file we had to create for this welcome screen. For this welcome screen, we had to create what? We had to create a Java file we had to create for this welcome screen. Okay. Let's create a Java file. Let's create a Java file for this. Let's right click on this package. Right click on this package. Create a new Java class. Create a new Java class. Specify the Java class name. Just right click on this package. Right click on your package name. You can find an option called new. In new, you can find an option called Java class. You can find an option called what? Java class. In this Java class, let's specify the class name. Welcome activity is the class name. Welcome activity is the class name. It should be subtype of extends activity class. So what is the first of all creating an activity? We want to create a welcome activity. We want to create one more activity called welcome activity. So if you want to create an activity, the class should be subtype of what? The class should be subtype of activity class. This is the first. Create a class with subtype of what? Activity class. Okay. Next, here we had to override a method. We had to override this activity class contains a method called onCreate method. We had to override that onCreate method. We had to override. This activity class contains a method called what? OnCreate method. We had to override that onCreate method. We had to override. Why you are overriding this onCreate method? Because it is going to call the first. Okay. Now in this welcome activity, so use set content view method for setting the user interface to the Java file. Set content view is a method. R dot layout dot. What is your XML file? Welcome XML. Set content view r dot layout dot welcome is the XML file. Okay. Now let's run the application and see. And so one more thing we have to configure. Just we created XML file we created and Java file we created. For the second screen, welcome to Dirgasoft screen, we created what? XML we created as well as we created a Java also we created. But this XML and Java configuration is not sufficient to consider as an activity. this XML and Java file is not sufficient to consider as an activity. Apart from this XML file and Java file, so we had to configure we had to configure this activity, we had to configure in a file called manifest.xml. Apart from this XML and Java, we had to configure the activity, we had to configure about this activity, we had to configure in manifest.xml, we had to configure. So if you configure in manifest.xml, then only it will recognize as an activity. Otherwise, it will not recognize as an activity, it will not recognize. Otherwise, it will not recognize as a activity. XML and Java configuration is not sufficient to consider as activity. So we had to configure the activity, we had to configure in the manifest.xml also, we had to configure that activity. Then only it will consider as a activity class. Otherwise, it will not consider as an activity class. So let's see here. Now we created a XML file we created for this welcome screen, and Java file also we created for this welcome screen. But XML and Java configuration is what? Not sufficient to consider as an activity. Open this manifest.xml, Android manifest.xml. In this Android manifest.xml, you can find a tag called application is a tag name. You can find a tag called what? Application is a tag name. In this application tag, inside this application tag, okay, inside this application tag, we had to configure the activity, we had to configure. Inside this application tag, we had to configure the activity, we had to configure. Let's configure the activity. Inside the application tag, we had to configure the activity, we had to configure. See, if you specify the tag name, if you specify just I specified a tag name as AI specified, automatically it is asking what is the name of the activity. So you have to specify the activity name, you have to specify here. There are two activities are there, main activity and welcome activity. Which activity class you want to display, you have to select here. Basically, which activity will select? Welcome activity. I want to display this welcome activity, I want to display. Activity Android colon name is equals to what? Welcome activity. We are displaying the welcome activity, we are displaying. Okay. Okay. So we configured the activity also, we configured in the manifest.xml. We created XML file, we created what? XML file we created, and we created Java file we created. XML file we created, Java file we created, and even we configured that activity also we configured in the manifest.xml. I'll repeat once again. XML we configured, Java we configured, and even we configured that activity also in the manifest.xml. So now we can write the logic. The second screen is created completely, this welcome screen. Now in the main activity class, so whenever user select the next button, we'll call that welcome screen, we'll call. The syntax of calling this explicit intent or the user defined screen says, create the object for intent. Intent I is equals to new intent is a class name. Intent I is equals to what? New intent is a class name. And I dot set component is a method. I dot set component is a method. I dot set component is a method. The input parameter for this set component method is nothing but object of component name class. The input parameter for this set component method is nothing but what? Object of component name class object is required. So let's create the object for component name class. Let's specify the object of component name class. Specify the object of component name class. Now in this component name class, we had to specify two parameters we had to specify in this component name class. We had to specify how many parameters? Two parameters we had to specify. In this component name, two parameters we had to specify. First parameter is a context object. First parameter is what? Context object. So context or activity both are same, right? So we'll specify this, will specify. This is the first one. Specify the context object, this, comma. Second parameter, specify the class name. Which class you want to call, let's specify the class name. First parameter is a context, just we specified this, we specified. Second parameter is what? The class name. Which class you want to call, let's specify the class name. I want to call the welcome activity class, I want to call welcome activity dot class. I dot set component, specify the object of component name class. Specify the object of component name class. Specify this, your current class object, comma. to which class you want to navigate. I want to navigate to what? Welcome activity. So here we are using the context, meaning nothing but actually here we had to specify right now in which class you are available. I mean which screen you are available, to which screen you want to navigate. We are already inside the activity class. We are already inside. That's why simply I specified this. So you'll get the current class activity object you'll get. So we are navigating to which screen? Welcome activity screen we are navigating. Okay. And start activity of, let's specify the intent object. Start activity of what? Specify the intent object. So by using this logic, we are navigating to second screen. We are navigating welcome screen. We'll navigate. Let's run the application here. Let's run the app. It's loading still. You can see my screen, but it's not showing preview here. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? I mean output? Are you able to see the my means that mobile screen output? Because here there is some problem today with this Android. That's why it's not showing here. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah. Otherwise, just give me a second. I'll restart this Android software. Why it is not displaying the preview? So maybe internet is slow, I guess. That's why. It's okay. I have another option to show the screen preview. So basically, we got the output. We got what is our application name? Intense test is a right. So we got the output. We got this app we created. Okay. Now what I'm doing is just I'm selecting this next button. I'm selecting. Okay. So once if you select that next button in my phone I'm selecting this next button. I'm selecting. So once if you select that next button, I got this welcome to the Rigasoft screen. I got. Okay. So when you press back button, again you will get the previous activity you'll get. When you press back button, again you'll get what? The previous activity you will get. And here if you select this next button, if you select, here if you select this next, it will navigate to what? So next screen it will navigate. Welcome to the Rigasoft screen. It will navigate. Okay. So if you want to call any user defined screens, if you want to call any user defined screens, if you want to call, then we use a concept called what? Explicit intents concept we use to navigate to the user defined screen. If you want to navigate any user defined screens like this, welcome to the Rigasoft, or these kind of user defined screens, we use the explicit intents concept we use. Okay. And we'll try to demonstrate, we'll try to use these methods. There are two methods are there: put extra and get extra method. Basically, this put extra method and get extra method, yesterday I told you, right? There are six major methods are there in the intent class: set action, set data, set type. Now we already seen these three methods. We already seen in the implicit intents: set action, set data, and set type. So now we'll try to use put extra method and get extra method. Now my requirement is here. When user select the next button, just we are calling the welcome to Durgasoft screen. We are calling, right? When user select the next button, we are calling this welcome to Durgasoft screen. We are calling. On top of this one, on top of this next button, I want to add one text box. I want to add. On top of this next button, I want to add what? One text box I want to add on top of this next button. So user is going to enter some text here. For example, let's take user is going to enter, for example, Mahesh in this text box. In this text box, user is going to enter some name. Like for example, user is entered a name called what? Mahesh user is entered. Mahesh user is entered in this text box. So when user clicks the next button, I want to call this. I want to call this built-in screen. I want to call. I mean this welcome to the Rigasoft screen. I want to call. When user clicks the next button, I want to call this welcome to the Rigasoft screen. I want to call. So I want to show this message. I want to show here. Welcome to the Rigasoft Mahesh. I want to show. When user clicks the next button, I want to call this welcome screen. I want to call along with the text. Meaning whatever the text user is giving here, that text I want to display in the next screen. I want to display welcome to the Rigasoft Mahesh. So I want to transfer the data I want to send to the user defined screens. We've seen how to send the data by using built-in activities. We used a method called set data method we used for sending the data to the built-in activities. So if you want to transfer the data, if you want to transfer between the user defined screens, then we use a method called what? Put extra and get extra method we use. Put extra and get extra method we use to transfer the data between the user defined screens. Okay. So now in your activity XML file, on top of this next button, this is a dial button and next button. On top of dial button, let's add one edit text component. Create an edit text component. I specified width is match parent and height is wrap content I specified. Width is match parent, occupy the entire screen, and height I specified as what? Wrap content I specified up to the content. And let's configure an ID for this component. Because we required an ID, I specified the ID for this one is ET2 is the ID I configured. On top of this next button, we created what? One edit text component we created on top of this next button. On top of this next button, we created what? One edit text component we created. Let's configure an ID. We already configured the ID also we configured. For this edit text component, we already configured the ID also we configured. ET2 is the ID. So when user clicks the next button, we are calling this by using this explicit intents. We are calling the welcome activity. We are calling now here before going to call that activity class. So first get the data from the edit text component. Edit text is equals to, what is the method name? Find db by id r.id.edit text2. So get the edit text2 component from the XML file, and next intent object dot, there is a method called put extra is a method. Intent object dot put extra is a method. Intent object dot put extra is a method. Give a key for this one. Give a key here. What is a key? So here I'm giving the key as name is a key I'm sending. What is a key? Name is a key. Second parameter is nothing but value. Et2 dot get text dot to string. So whatever the data user is entered in the text box, whatever the data user is entered in the text box, I want to transfer the data I want to transfer. So if you want to shade the data in the user defined screens or user defined activities, so we use a method called what? Put extra and get extra method. Meaning here we are putting some data we are putting into intent object. We are putting the data we are putting into the intent object, we are putting the data. And so once if you call this start activity, it is going to call the welcome screen, it is going to call. Here it's going to call what? Welcome screen, it's going to call. Now in this welcome activity, you'll get the intent object also you'll get here. Here we are putting some data we are putting. Here we are putting some data and we are sending the data we are sending to what? To the welcome activity we are sending the data. How the welcome activity will receive that one? How the welcome activity will receive that one is how the welcome activity will receive that one is after the set content view method, write this get intent object. If we call get intent, we'll get the intent object we'll get. Because we are sending the data in the intent object only. We put some data and we are sending the data. So right, get intent dot. There is a method called get string extra is a method. Get string extra because it's an overloaded method here. What type of data you are sending here? What type of data you are sending here? Whether you are sending a string type of data or boolean type of data, double type of data. What type of data you are sending from here based on this type? So you have to specify here. Get string extra or get integer extra. So get intent dot get string extra. Let's specify the key here. What is the key you configured? Let's specify the key. What is the key we specified? Name is a key. What is the key we specified? Name is a key. Okay. So because here we are sending the data we are sending, and what is the key we assigned? Name is a key we assigned. So in the welcome activity, we are receiving the data we are receiving using the name key. Okay. So return type of this method is nothing but string is a return type. String is a return type of this method. Get intent dot get string extra. Okay, so what we'll do is this value, this name, whatever the name we are sending here, this one we want to set to this welcome to Durgasoft screen is there, right? In the XML file, what we'll do is we'll configure an ID, we'll configure for this text view component. TV1 is ID I configured. TV1 is ID I configured for this text view component. It already contains a text called welcome to Durgasoft, right? Okay. So now in your Java code, we got that value we got from the first screen. We got the value we got from the first screen. Now I want to append this value. This value I want to append to the existing text. So here in the XML file we get text view component we created in the XML. Let's get the text view component into your activity file. Text view find view id r.id dot text view 1 r.id dot text view 1. For this text view component, I want to set the text I want to set. Text view component dot set text of text view component dot set text of. Here, what is the requirement? Activity 1. I mean, your main activity is going to send some data to this activity. We are receiving the data we are receiving. Okay, and we got the text we got. This text I want to append here. This text I want to append. So tv1 dot get text. So once if you call this tv1 dot get text, so you'll get the existing text you will get. tv1 I want to set the text I want to set to text view 1 component. I want to set some text I want to set tv1 dot set text. From where you will get the text. So tv1 dot get text plus this name. Appending the value I'm appending. Meaning first whatever the text is there, it should be same. Welcome to Durgasoft. And after that I'm appending the value I'm appending to this one. What is the value of we are appending? Name we are appending. We are appending what? The name we are appending. Whatever the data it is sending from the activity 1, we are receiving the data and we are sending we are displaying the data we are displaying. Let's run the application. Let's run the application. So finally we got the output. So here we had to specify the text we had to specify here. Here we had to specify what? The text we had to specify here. We got the output we got. Specify the text. What is the text you want to transfer? For example, I want to send this data. I want to send called Mahesh is a text I specified. What I specified? Mahesh is a text I specified in this text box. It's loading still. So app is already installed and I given the text already given. What is the text I given? Mahesh is the text I given here. I given the text as what? Mahesh is a text I given in this text box. So once if you click the next button, see I'm selecting this next button I'm selecting here. I'm selecting what? The next button I'm selecting. So once if you select the next button, it will navigate to one more screen, it will navigate. Welcome to Durgasoft. And whatever the text we given in the first text box, okay, it will open that particular activity, it will open that particular text. Okay. So see again, for example, this is our screen, first screen. So here in place of this Mahesh, for example, I'm configuring the text as Rajesh is a text I'm configuring. I'm configuring the text as what? Rajesh is a text I configured. See here, Rajesh is a text I got. Okay, once if you click that next button, it will open that welcome screen. It will open welcome to Durgasoft Rajesh. What is the text you given? It will open that particular activity with that text. It will open. Okay, this is called explicit intents, meaning how to call the user-defined screens by using explicit intents, and how we are sending the data by using put extra and get extra methods. We are sending the data. We are sending to the user-defined screens. We are sending the data by using put extra and get extra methods. Okay, next, what is the last one? WhatsApp. So when user select the WhatsApp button, I want to call the WhatsApp application I want to call. When user select the WhatsApp button, I want to call what? The WhatsApp application I want to call. When user select the WhatsApp button, I want to call what? The built-in WhatsApp application I want to call. So if you want to call any built-in applications, if you want to call, so we'll write the logic in this in main activity. What is the method name? WhatsApp is a method name. Here, what is the method name? WhatsApp is a method name. Okay. So here, when user select the WhatsApp button, I want to call the WhatsApp application I want to call. I want to call what? The WhatsApp application I want to call here. See, if you want to call any third-party applications, if you want to call from your application, if you want to call any third-party applications, if you want to call from your application, first of all, we have to know the package name of that particular application. First of all, you have to know what? The package name of that particular application you have to know. So how to get the package name of application? So if you want to get the package name of an application, if you want to get, there is an app called Package Name Viewer is the app. What is the app name? Package Name Viewer is the app. By using that Package Name Viewer app, you can get the list of applications and its package names you can get. You can get the list of applications and its package names you can get. What is the application name? Package Name Viewer is the application. Package Name Viewer is the application. See, I'll show you that application. I'll show you. So this is the app. Went from here, from bottom to fourth, fourth row, second column, fourth row, second column, package name viewer. This is the app. Okay. So in this package name viewer app, if you select this package name viewer, it will show you what are all the list of applications and its package names. It's loading here. It will show you what? The list of applications and its package names. In my phone, there is an app called Avibus is the app. What is the package name of this Avibus app? com.app.abibus is the app name. com.app.abibus. So like this, you can find the list of applications and its package names you can find here. Like this, you can find what? The list of applications and its package names. For example, we want to call WhatsApp. You want to call the WhatsApp application you want to call, right? See, if you want to call the WhatsApp application, if you want to call, see what is the package name of WhatsApp? See, this is a from bottom to third one. From bottom to third row. See what is the package name of WhatsApp? com.whatsapp is a package name. Okay. So if you want to call, you can call any third party applications you can call. We can call any third party applications, but we had to know the package name of that particular application. We had to know. Syntax is, let's create the object for intent class. Get package manager dot get launch intent for package is the method. Specify the package name. What is the package name of WhatsApp? com dot com.whatsapp is a package name. com.whatsapp is a package name. And start activity of intent object. Create an object for the intent. Get package manager dot get launch intent for package. Specify the package name of that particular application. Start activity of intent. Okay. So now here, once if you select this WhatsApp button, we are calling the WhatsApp application. We are calling this com.whatsapp is a package name of WhatsApp. Okay. Now let's run the application. See, let's run the application. So app is installing. Okay. So app is installed. I'm selecting this WhatsApp button. I'm selecting. So once if you select this WhatsApp button, it is calling the WhatsApp application. It is calling. It is calling what? WhatsApp application. It is calling. So once you select this WhatsApp button, we are calling what? The built-in WhatsApp application we are calling. Okay, this is how to call the third-party applications. If you want to call any third-party applications, if you want to call, we have to know the package name of that particular application. We had to know what? The package name of that particular application we had to know. Okay, then we can call that particular application we can call. Okay, this is about the intents concept. So any queries in this? Because this is frequently used to concept in case of our Android development intents. Because definitely once if you start a project, you get a requirement of navigating from one screen to another screen, or if you get a requirement of calling some Android built-in screens like camera, browser, and all. It's one of the common activity in our Android application development, calling the implicit intents and explicit intents and third-party applications. So let me know if you have any queries. So otherwise, we'll see in the tomorrow class. We'll see next topic. Okay. Any queries? Any queries in today's class? Please let me know if you have any queries. Otherwise, we'll discuss the next topic in the next.